When I was elected to the legislature in 1966, I was 27 years old. This was an incredible feat for somebody that young. And there were some groups that took note of that, because when I went to the legislature, most of the people I served with were the age of what my grandfather would have been had he been alive. They were from not just the generation ahead of me, but 2 generations ahead of me. Remember, we didn't have term limits in those days. We had men serving 30 and 40 years in the legislature. I say men because only during my time in the legislature did we start to get a few women members of the legislature, and just a few. Other than that, it was completely dominated by men. And so I learned quickly the old phrase that Sam Rayburn used to teach young congressmen in Washington, D.C. If you want to get along, you have to go along. And I became one of the best followers of chairmen of committees, of people who were dominant figures in the legislature. In today's vocabulary, you would say I was kissing up to them. But in many respects, they had all the knowledge, and I wanted to learn from them. So I did. And what happened is that I got a great footing or grounding in the legislative process in my first few years, so that when the Democratic Party took control of the legislature after the 1970 elections, I was selected by my party caucus to be the majority leader. That was a significant position and very heady for a young man who came from Fresno to serve in that capacity in the state legislature.